and welcome back to my doll collecting channel. Today I have a unique video for you, which is the most unique dolls in my collection. Now this doesn't mean the most rare dolls or the most expensive dolls. This just means the dolls that I think make my collection stand out. Now, I believe that everyone's collection is unique and everyone's collection is different, so I highly encourage you to make your own version of this video or leave a comment down below letting me know what makes your collection unique. And if you do make your own version of this video, make sure to let me know because I would love to watch your video. And without further ado, let's get started. I believe what makes my collection unique is that my first 18-inch doll was a Maplelea girl, and Maplelea is a brand here in Canada of 18-inch dolls that teaches young children about the history and culture of Canada and each of the individual provinces and territories. And at the time that I bought this doll, which was in 2007, the company had only been around for 4 years. So this is a very, very early version of the Maplelea girl dolls. So that's why she looks quite different from the dolls you would see now. This doll is also in very, very rough shape because I played with her all the time, and for 2 years she was my only doll. Well, I should say 18-inch doll. I had dolls like Barbies and things like that, but no doll of this quality. So she's very special to me, and I still love Maplelea Girl, and I still love many of the Maplelea Girl dolls, and I'm so glad that I have a second in my collection, which you will see later in this video. But overall, I think starting off my collection with a Maplelea Girl definitely makes my collection unique. Another unique doll in my collection is my Emily Bennett doll. Now, what makes her unique is she is the very first doll that I bought with my own money when I was 11 years old. In 2011, my family visited Connecticut, and Connecticut is quite close to Boston, so we went to the American Girl store Boston before it shut down. And I loved Emily because she was from England, and I thought it was so cool to have an American Girl that wasn't originally from America or wasn't permanently living in America like Kirsten, which Kirsten was my first American Girl doll. And I just thought it was really cool being a Canadian and having a girl that was from England, because if you do not know, Canada and England get along very well, and Canada of course has history that is very close to England. So it's just really cool having a doll from England, and she was very unique because she had short hair. And she was a very unique doll in my collection because she had red hair, and she just felt very, very unique and very special to me since I saved up all summer to get her. Next we have my custom Marta doll, and she is unique for several reasons. If you've been following this channel for a while, you might not know that— oh no, she's gonna fall over. Doll down! If you have been following my channel for a while, you might be confused because this doll has had many different names. First she was Jane after Jane Austen, then she was Alice, then she just had so many different names. And at one point I was even thinking of turning her into a boy doll, but ultimately I decided to make her Marta from Kirsten stories, since Kirsten is one of my favorite American girls since she was my first. And it's also really nice having another pioneer girl in my collection. But what also makes Marta unique is that she is a number 20. Number 20s apparently are really rare. She has blonde hair and gray eyes, and if I remember correctly, she didn't exist for very long, and I don't even think a stock photo of number 20 exists online, because whenever I see photos of her or visual charts of Truly Me's, there's always just a photo of a collector and not of the actual stock photo. So I think that she's pretty unique, and I've heard that several people want this doll, and I have tried selling her, but I'm glad she never sold because she makes an excellent Marta. Originally, I was going to do this video in the order that I got the dolls, but I forgot to mention Caroline, which was the last doll that I got in my collection when I was a kid. Now, this Caroline is unique because I got her a year after she was released. I believe she was released in 2012, and I got her in 2013 for Christmas. I have been told that she is unique because she is not a Be Forever Caroline, but I've heard her nicknamed as a fat face Caroline, which I I don't really like the name of, but that's what collectors have been calling her. I think she's absolutely adorable and has a very cute face. And personally, it's kind of hard for me to tell the difference between the pre-Be Forever, the historical version of Caroline, and the Be Forever version. But I'm too glad I have her because I have the most connections with her. But overall, I've been told that she's pretty unique, and I do really like her unique eyes. And I do also like that she is from the War of 1812, which was a war that happened between America and Canada, which it wasn't Canada at the time, but geographically it was Canada. And she lived on the opposite side of Lake Ontario, which is where I used to live, or very close to where I used to live. So I have a special connection to her for that reason. I also worked at a War of 1812 museum for a short period of time while I was in university. So whenever I see her, I think of those fun times working at that museum. So this is a Pleasant Company Molly. Now, I know a lot of people have Molly dolls, and a lot of people have Molly dolls that are Pleasant Company. However, what makes mine special and unique is that I found her at a thrift store for, I believe, $8. I believe she was $7.99. Now, her hair is a little bit cut, but you can still braid it, so I'm not going to change it. And what makes her unique and special to me is that I had wanted a Molly doll, and I was planning on getting her next. I was torn between getting a Mary Ellen doll and a Molly doll. So when I found a good price on a Mary Ellen doll, I got her first, and next on my list was a Molly. And I was thinking of buying one on eBay, and good thing I didn't bid on her, because then about a week later, I found a Molly at a thrift store. Now, she didn't come with any of her original clothes, but I can't complain for $7.99. I really can't complain. What also makes her unique is that she has both silver eye and bubble eye, which is a defect that happens to dolls when they're exposed to sunlight, and I believe the bubble eye is from sunlight or water. I know the silver eye is from the sunlight, and also just sometimes a defect even if they're not exposed to sunlight, but sunlight can really, make it a bigger problem. And the bubble eye is, I believe, from water, or maybe it's still from sunlight. But silver eye is pretty common in the Pleasant Company dolls, but bubble eye is more unique. So I'm glad that I have a doll with this defect in my collection, because it was a very common thing for the American Girl dolls before. Now, I know Nellies aren't that unique. Well, they are rare, but they aren't in too much demand, despite Samantha being a very, very popular character. Nellie is one of the dolls that my collection is known for. If you were following my channel about a year ago, you would know that I was on a hunt for a Nellie for a very long time. And Nellie is my second favorite doll and character in the American Girl line. My first is Mary Grace, but Nellie is a very close second. And Nellie is very important to me because she is from Ireland, and I technically have Irish heritage. And most of my heritage is Irish. I'm not like 1%. I'm like almost fully Irish. And Nellie was one of the first American Girl dolls that I ever wanted, but she was retired at the time and went for ridiculous prices on eBay. Now, I did pay a lot of money for her, a little bit more than I would have spent on a brand new doll, but she was a doll that was one of my absolute favorites, and I'm an adult and I can make my own choices about my money, and I'm so glad I got her because she is so adorable. So the reason she's in this video is because most of you would have known that I really, really wanted a Nellie for a very, very long time, and a few people have told me that because of my videos, they have wanted a Nellie, or they associate my videos with Nellie, which makes me feel really good that people care about me and my videos. It sounds kind of strange, but it's interesting that I can have an effect and, on people, which sounds really weird saying, but hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. But Nellie's just a really good doll, and the reason she's in this video is because I feel like people associate her with my collection a lot. Next, we have my boy doll, Jonathan. Now, he's a number 77, which I feel like is one of the most rare boy dolls that they have released, and that's probably why I got him for a really great price. He was $70, and normally American Girls are $140 at Chapters in Indigo in Canada. So he's a really unique doll in my collection because I made him a historical boy doll. Now, technically his backstory is that he's a time traveler and he happened to end up in the Dracula story, and his name is Jonathan after Jonathan Harker from Dracula. So I'm gonna make a movie about it eventually. But he's really unique because I feel like he's just a unique doll. Not many people have him. Not many people have boy dolls, and if they do have boy dolls, they don't usually have a number 77. And he's also really unique because he's a historical boy doll. I feel like a lot of people make their boy dolls modern dolls that are into sports, but I personally think he's very academic, and he's definitely into the paranormal. So overall, I feel like he's a pretty unique doll, but I'll let you be the judge. Two other dolls that I feel are very unique to my collection are my two Girls of Many Lands dolls. Now, if you are a younger collector, you might not know what these dolls are, but during the early 2000s, American Girl released this line of, I think they're 11 inches tall, dolls from different cultures around the world and different time periods. So we have Isabel, who's in the red, and she is from Renaissance Tudor England, and we have Cecile from Revolutionary War France, if I remember their timings correctly. And I got both of these dolls for $30, or including shipping, back in around 2011 when I, was really obsessed with American Girl, and I found them for an amazing deal. Now, they didn't have a lot of their pieces, like their shoes and their accessories, and they only came with one book, which turned out to be okay because I found almost the complete series of Girls of Many Lands at a thrift store. I think maybe a few months ago, or maybe a year ago. So it ended up working out, even though they didn't have their books, or at least Isabel didn't have her books. But overall, I think this makes my collection pretty unique because not too many people have these dolls, because they weren't really play dolls, they were more of display dolls for older collectors, and it didn't last for very long because I think it just wasn't that popular. So I'm very glad I have these dolls in my collection, and I would love a Kathleen because I think this line is just super unique and super beautiful, and the dolls are absolutely gorgeous. This might be the most unique doll in my collection, and I'll explain why. So this is my Maplelea girl. This is my Maplelea girl, Clara. Now, Clara I got at a thrift store, and her wig was very badly cut. So I decided I wanted to buy her a new wig. So I got this wig off of Amazon. And I feel like this doll with this wig is a very unique combination because she's not one of the character Maplelea girls. She's one of the girls that you can create your own story for. So I feel like the combination of the wig and her being a less popular doll, because she's not a character doll, makes her really unique in my collection. I also feel like Maplelea girls are pretty unique in general. So anyways, I highly recommend that everyone gets a Maplelea girl. Next we have my American Girl, Diana. Now I just recently got Diana from a thrift store, and she is missing her finger and her thumb. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that on this channel, so she's not in perfect condition, but I did get her for $3.99. And I named her Diana after Diana in Anne of Green Gables, because Diana is my favorite character from Anne of Green Gables, and I've always admired the friendship between Anne and Diana, and I always wanted a Diana doll. Now, they're not impossible to find Diana dolls, but they're much less common than finding Anne of Green Gables dolls, and I always wanted to have an Anne and Diana doll. So I don't have an Anne in my collection yet, but I do have a Diana, which is okay with me because she's my favorite character. I definitely will be getting an Anne sometime in my collection. So I feel like Diana is very unique because, again, I found her at a thrift store, but also she is from the book Anne of Green Gables. I don't see too many people creating Anne of Green Gables dolls, or they just create Anne dolls, but they don't create Diana dolls. So I feel like she is pretty unique for that reason. Also, it's really fun having another Victorian girl in the dollhouse. So I originally wasn't going to include Cecile in this video, but then I decided I probably should because I don't see Cecile too often in other people's collections, either on Instagram or on YouTube. And I feel like it's because she didn't exist for very long, and she was also a best friend to Mary Grace. And even though their best friend thing was very, I don't know, it's unique and it was different. So like none of them was like the best friend, but they were both like the best friend, but then they were both like the main character too. So that probably led to people not purchasing her because it was kind of weird, even though I really liked it, and Mary Grace and Cecile is my favorite best friend group. And Cecile is my third favorite doll in my collection, and I feel like she's just a very unique doll with the Sonali face mold and the black curly hair and the green eyes, and she does go for a lot of money on eBay. It's not impossible to find her for a cheaper price like I did, but overall I think for those reasons not a lot of people get a Cecile, and for that reason I feel like people feel like it's impossible to get a Cecile when it's not. You can do anything you set your mind to, but for that reason I feel like people give up on the Cecile and don't get her as often as I wish they should, because she's absolutely amazing and darling and looks beautiful in everything. She looks beautiful in modern outfits and 1950s outfits, all these different time periods she looks amazing in. And I feel like a lot of people also know my collection from my Cecile doll because she is one of the earlier dolls that I bought as an adult. She was actually the first that I bought intentionally as an adult. That has been my video on my most unique dolls in my collection. Make sure to either do your own video or leave a comment down below letting me know what makes your collection unique, because I believe that everyone's collection is unique. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Doll Days, and I'll see you next time.